how can Trace, with its personalized playlists, assist coaches in winning games and supporting the development of the individual athlete. Development through video analysis is the best way for players to gain the full picture of who, what, where, when, why, and how we as coaches want them to perform on the field. And with Trace's personalization, it hits this current generation of players right in their learning sweet spot. Even the slightest marginal gain through video review can be the difference between winning and losing, and just as importantly, seeing a player reach their full potential. 2 tips when we think about video review. The first is communication. Keep things simple. Less is more. Keep the language consistent with what is being said on the field. Don't call them channels on the field and then half spaces in the video review. Keep everything identical. The second tip is accountability. All players at all levels want to get better. The major difference between the levels is that some players are just more diligent at this than others. Accountability oftentimes creates additional anxiety or stress for players. So as a coach, we got to find ways through the presentation of video that's going to cater to the collective growth and also foster individuals who want to do more. We can make self-assessment fun. We can make it creative with different types of playlists, different types of environments, just like we do in training. Now with the foundation in place, let us choose our format, how we want to communicate or how we want to show these great Trace highlights to our teams. And that's where Trace ID Plus comes in. Trace ID Plus is a dashboard that brings all playlists and full game video within one click. It allows for coaches to create an unlimited amount of custom playlists with an unlimited amount of highlights. It gives coaches the ability to stay organized and efficient when we do our video workflow, and it also allows us to visually track and catalog team and individual development over time in one central location. These playlists can be crafted to align with the previous team or individual benchmarks, or they can be singular game reviews or weekly training topics. Playlists are an essential way to take a full match and break it down into consumable pieces for players. They tell the why, which is the catalyst for success. So now that we've created these playlists based off of our benchmarks, now we have to decide the environment we want to present this with. Trace is the only platform that makes it possible for you to easily do one-on-one player reviews. Right before training, pulling a player aside, having a couple of highlights queued up in a playlist, saying, hey, this was great this weekend, this is what we're going to do this week, and this is how it's going to play out. These 90-second, 2-minute video mobile classrooms are really impactful. And you know how players are after they talk to coaches, they feel good, they feel connected. So not only are we developing them technically and tactically, but we're also establishing that really great coach-player relationship with Trace's playlist as the medium. Trace makes it possible to be more efficient in team reviews as well. We know players don't have the attention span for a 45-minute game review session. A couple things to keep in mind when we do have a team environment. The first is to keep it brief. Keep team sessions between 10 and 20 minutes, whether it's in person or online. And make this collaborative. Ask questions. Have players respond to questions. The more interactive we make it, the more everybody is going to get out of it. Another great exercise I like to do in a team setting is flip the classroom, where I'll ask certain individuals to create a playlist and teach the rest of the group what we're trying to do in specific phases of the game. Peer teaching is really impactful. And players get tired of coaches' voices after a certain time. This is a really good way to kind of mix things up a bit. Another way to do it are individual development plans. Sitting down with a player before the season and outlining very specific technical goals or tactical objectives. And then as the season rolls on, these players can go and create playlists where they are achieving these new standards. And this is a different type of accountability. It's one thing to write goals on a piece of paper. It's another thing to week in and week out visually assess our progression to those performance objectives. And now they make that great switch where they're not just watching these playlists. They're not just watching these highlights, but they're observing, they're thinking critically. So besides the individual development plans, we can assign some homework where we've asked our players to go in and do maybe a game review. I do a simple 3-2-1, 3 good moments, 2 bad moments, 1 team moment. And that team moment can align with our training topic for that week or the previous week. And now they go in, they create a playlist. They're going through those highlights and assigning those highlights to a playlist which correspond to their development theme, and then they share that back. I respond, close that feedback loop, and now we've got this great additional training session based on video. But again, we're not falling into that trap where we're just watching highlights. We're getting them to be active. The more active they are, the better they become, the quicker they become.